My name is Ailet Cornelius, and I am called to do the work of God. The Lord, I remember I was, when I became a Christian, in my kitchen, right where I'm sitting down, over some almost 16, 17 years ago, I became a Christian. And after I became a Christian, I wanted God, I wanted God to do marvelous things in my life. And I remember asking the Lord to send me to places where people didn't know about Him. But instead of doing that, I went to my bed, and the Lord came to me, and He told me, He said that there are people around me who has never heard of Him. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't even think of that. I thought everybody in America knew about the Lord, And then after that time, the Lord came back again, and He gave me an assignment how to go out on the street with my car and how to put He showed me the whole thing, how to put the speaker on top of the car and set it up in a way that people and go out by the roadside. And for one of the things that he told me not to collect money from anybody. And I went out there, people was giving me like $1 here. And I told them, I said, listen, the Lord told me not to collect money from anybody. And so I didn't, I wasn't into that. But so from that time, I started doing the ministry for the Lord. I went home to Jamaica, where I was born. I live in America, and I went home to Jamaica, and I started a mission there, a prayer group, prayer center. But unfortunately, I had to come back here to take care of a family member, a young family member that needed me. And so that the person that I left in charge wasn't doing as I thought they would do at the time. And so the church business went down. But it's still in my intention to go back there and start it all over again. Because if at first you don't succeed, try and try and try again. Today, I am going to tell you what the Lord told me. He said that the Lord Himself came to me a little before I came back from Jamaica. The Lord came to me and He told me, He said that we are in the end of time, the very end. He gave it a name, but when I got out of that sleep, I couldn't remember that name, but I've never heard that name before. But He gave me this name, and He said that we are actually in the end of time. And then He added to it by saying very end. But before that, about 9 years, a little over 9 years ago, I was sleeping in my room, and somebody came into my room. I don't know if it was, I know it was someone from God, but I don't know if it was the Father. Most of the time when the Father comes, or the Savior, I would know. But this time here, I don't know if it was an angel. I don't know if it was the Lord, but I know it was from God. And He came to me and He said that I heard a voice in the room. It says, read Ezekiel chapter 30, 3, starting at the second verse. That's what I'm supposed to read. Second verse, Ezekiel chapter 33. I jumped up out of bed and I grabbed my Bible that was beside me and I started reading. And then after that, I went next door to one of my family members to discuss the matter with them. And I realized that the Lord was giving me a message to go out with. And because it says there, the second verse says, Son of man. You could read it for yourself. And I know that I am. So I'm not a man, but you know how the Bible refers to us, everybody, as son of man, And so what happened is I went out on the street. The Lord showed me how to set my car up and everything. And I went out on the street and I was out there telling people about, but I had no idea what it's going to be. Now that I see today is what day? Today's like the 12th, 13th of March 2020. And I think the coronavirus is taking over the world. I have to wonder, was it that the Lord was telling me about when he gave me that scripture to read? I wonder if that was what the Lord was pointing to, what was going to take place. But I do happen to know that we are in the end of time, very end, because the Lord said it. Not only that, before that, I saw two men, and they were standing like on a bridge. And these two men were looking around, and I was coming up from under the bridge or somewhere there. And they were just standing there looking, and then it seems like I had the right to be there, but they were like strangers, and they needed help. So I called out to them, and I said, "Can I help you?" And one of the men said to me, "We are looking for someone to tell people that what happened in the days of Noah is about to take place again." So I said, "I will, sir. I will tell people. I will tell people that what you said there." And so I know what Jesus said about in the days of Noah, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the end. And we are definitely in the end of time. A whole lot of stuff is going to be taking place because, as I said, we are in the very end of time. Right now it's like 12:03 in the morning, and I'm sitting in my kitchen and I'm recording this because it's on my mind to tell people that to prepare to meet their God. Another time I was just sitting in the back. I was just sitting in the back of my house here, and I dozed off, and then I heard the Father's voice said, "I'm to tell people to prepare. Tell people to prepare to meet their God." And I jumped up and looked around again. And this was no dream. This was just a voice I heard in the room. Tell people to prepare to meet their God. So today I'm here, and I'm trying to tell people to prepare to meet their God, because the time is not waiting for us. How would you or I feel to know that the end comes and our soul is lost? Because we gonna know if we're ready. When we all see Jesus in the air coming, we are going to know right then and there if we are ready to meet him. Trust me, because the life that we live now on earth here will determine if we are ready. We are going to know how we used to live before and if we are ready to go with him. I A few weeks ago, I had this dream. I found myself going up, 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 going up to the sky. And I'm like, Lord, I didn't know that I was ready to go with you. I didn't know that I was ready. I am going to be caught up like this. Something like of that nature I was saying to the Lord. I didn't see him, but I knew I was going up. And to me, it was like the rapture. So I was heading on up. And then when I was all the way almost far up, I don't know, I can't determine how far I was, but I was quite a way up. And then the next thing I knew is I started coming back down, easy like Sunday morning, down, down, down. And I'm like, what is this? After I woke up out of the sleep, I started searching myself to see what happened, because it was disappointing to me that I was coming down from the skies. I was going up thinking that I was going to heaven, and then the next thing I knew, I was coming down. So I was concerned, in real life, I was concerned. So I started searching myself. Then I realized that I'm not doing all the things that the Lord asked me to do. Tell me or told me to do or ordered me to do. And so I realized that I was going through some kind of disobedient problem with God. And I also realized that because one night I had this dream, because I was praying to God to show me, if my life was worthy before him. Because I don't want to be here saying that I'm a Christian and in the last minute I find myself, going to hell. I don't want to go there, because hell is not a pretty place. It's not a nice place. It's not a beautiful place. It's filled with hate and demons. Anyway, my sister and I had a sister in the dream. But this sister is not really my real sister in real life. But in the dream, she was my real sister. And we were just standing at this place, waiting for our father to kill us. Like he was going to murder us. And we couldn't do nothing about it. And we was wondering to ourselves which one of us would go first. So when he came, he said I was the one that he was going to kill first. And that man actually used a gun to shoot me. But for some reason, I didn't feel the pain. And I was conscious of what was happening. He shot me and I was dead. And then, before I died, I was praying. I was telling God, I was saying, God, I'm a Christian, and I'm asking you to receive my soul, even though my earthly life is ended here. But I'm sure, oh God, that you will take me on high and let me live in your kingdom. I was just asking him to forgive me for my sins and everything. And I was just praying while he was shooting me. And he was going to kill my sister too. Anyway, I died. And I figured that, no sooner than I passed, I was going to see Jesus. My gosh. I was taken to this place. It looked more like of a prison, with doors and people, and a glass case with some women sitting back there. And they beckoned to me to come when I got there. But, I didn't feel like I was in heaven. But it didn't look like hell either. It was just a building. A building like on the more like as I said, a prison. And I went in and she beckoned to me to come. So when I went to her, she asked me, she said, if I did what I had to do on earth. And I said, yes. She asked me, she said, did I give money or something? Money, about money. And I said, yes. And then she beckoned to me to go over there. And I went over there. I was going over there. I saw these people just standing around. Nobody was sitting down. Everybody, sorry. Everybody was kind of standing around in that place. Like they're waiting for something. So I said, all right. While I was standing there, I saw my sister came too. So both of us was there. And I heard she said, oh, that's my sister over there, brother, something she said. And then she went over that side where the people were standing. And then I was looking around to see, because I know I died, but I realized that I died, but I didn't know where I was. And I didn't like the place either. It didn't, it's not a place that, there's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't a place that I wanted to be. And I said, I saw some more people down in the hallway, way down yonder. So I said, you know what, let me go down there, because I looked over where she looked and she saw somebody she knew, but I didn't see nobody that I knew over there. And my mother died and my father died. So, I was looking for them, my brother and everything. And I didn't see them. So I walked over down to where some other people were standing. And I didn't realize I went through a gate, like a big shutter gate. So I went down there. And no sooner than I got there and looked around to see at the people, they just standing aimlessly around. I didn't see nobody down there either, so I turned back to go back where I came first. As soon as I got to where the shutter was, I didn't realize that there was a shutter when I went through it. As soon as I got to it, the thing closed down on me. The iron bar came down on me. And I was like, what is this? So anyway, I figured that that's just an incident. So I turned around and go to the side, like there was a gate there too. No sooner than I got to that gate locked down too with me. Oh my God! Then I saw a stone, a big stone. So I sat down on the stone and started wondering, what is this? What is happening to me, a Christian woman like me? What is happening? And then a person, a being, came behind me and sat down, like locked me, one foot over here and one over there at my back. I could see her dangling funny legs, something like tripe legs, but they're bigger than tripe legs, hanging out in front of me. But so I turned around. I tried to turn around to see who it was, and she told me, "Don't turn around. Don't look at me. Don't look at me." And I'm like, "What the heck is this?" And I stood up and said, "But why is this happening to me?" No, I stood up. And no sooner than I was standing, some little funny people, not bigger than a bottle, some little things, some funny little people started chewing on my legs, my feet, biting them. And I'm like, I cried out and I said, "What is this happening to me? Why? I don't deserve this. What's going on with me here? Why me?" And then I heard of it seems like the same demon that was sitting behind me cried out and said, "Because you're disobedient." I said, "Why am I?" No, I asked the question, "Why am I here?" And she said, "You're here because you're disobedient. That's why you're here." And I'm like, oh my God. And then no sooner than she said that, I woke up out my sleep. I didn't see anything else. I just woke up out of my sleep. I cried like a baby. I cried. I said, Lord, what is this? What is this? What is this? And this is how I started making my YouTube channel. And this is how I am on Facebook. And this is how I go back. Because I had stopped doing these things that I was doing before, doing for God. I used to go around the supermarket, out on the street, and I kind of, my church, everything, I was so busy for the Lord, and then I got slowed and stopped doing what the Lord called me to do, because He specifically told me what He wanted me to do. So that's why I'm here telling this story right now, so that people will hear that hell is not pretty. Hell is not pretty. I know from what I saw, I knew that I was not in hell, but I was at a waiting place, and it wasn't a nice waiting place. Wasn't nice. Waiting place. I couldn't even go back where I came in from first, and so my sister, I don't know what happened to she just went over there, said she saw somebody, whatever, and then that was it with her. But I didn't see any of her again after that. So it's like I started doing this YouTube. I have a blog and all of that, because I said, boy, I have to let the word out. But now we are in for a lot of changes in the world. Based on what I saw in Ezekiel 33 chapter there, it's a time when the king of Babylon captured Jerusalem. And, Jeremiah was a prophet then, and he was telling people what was about to take place, along with some other prophets, and they didn't listen to him. They didn't believe him. So I think that we are in a time, maybe not like Nebuchadnezzar time, where Nebuchadnezzar take over, but we are in the same kind of predicament now, where this virus is taking over the world, and schools are closing, this is happening, and all kind of stuff is happening. So I'm wondering in myself right now, is this what the Lord was showing me in Ezekiel 33? Is it? Because so far it hasn't happened yet, and everybody's going to be affected based on what is in the chapter. So, my brethren, I'm asking you to read it and be prepared for condemnation of this world, and pray on it that God will have mercy on us as a people in this place. May God bless you. May God keep you. May God make His face smile on you. My number is 860-840-9474. That's me, Alet Cornelius. May God bless you and continue to shower you with goodness and mercy. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.